encouraged by the protests, Black Lives Matter, because Black lives do matter. And it's been 400 years of trying to get that point across.
Initially, when Black Lives Matter started, I felt that they made a marketing gaffe. And I think, and the reason I thought that is the phraseology. I think it allowed people to mistake the message. I think what it should have been, or what I thought what it should have been, was Black Lives Matter 2. The addition of that word communicates that what they're trying to say is that Black lives don't matter more, but as well. So initially, I thought there was a marketing gaffe. Now, as events have progressed, I'm actually okay with the phrase as it is, because I feel like after 400 years, there's only so much you can take. And, we all know there's systemic racism. Every black person knows that, but you devise strategies to circumvent that, whether it's be achieving as much as you can, focusing on what you do, or whatever. But when you get to the point where, even when you're doing those things, you can't live your life and have equality, I think that's when this vehemence and the intensity of it, and the notion that it has to be, the message has to be almost domineering, right? It can't be negotiable. So I feel like at this point, I'm all for it. I feel like, we've tried every way possible. And what I like about it is that other people, it's nothing that is exclusionary. Other people can, adhere to that message, can join in, can participate. But there comes a point when, I'm exhausted today. What bothers me about it is that it's an exhaustion that's not from physical exertion. It's not anything that I can control. Like I think I mentioned earlier, it's this visceral response that I'm having that I didn't anticipate. And so that's a really frustrating thing, because you try to do your work, run your business, conduct your life, behave, whatever, achieve all of that, and then you get these sort of these sidewinder missiles that hit you that you don't expect, and it's just flattens you in a certain way. And so for me, that's been really disorienting, because I think what the past 2 weeks have done have sort of revived lessons that we've already learned, experiences that we've had, things that we've seen, things that your parents told you about, prepared you for, didn't want to have to do it, but they did. And so to have those things come back front and center is kind of ironically enough, is kind of taking your breath away. So the short answer to your question about Black Lives Matter is the protest is, at this point, there's no other way. While a lot of us kind of protest in other ways, we protest in the fact that we try to achieve more, we try to do more, we try to learn more, we try to be better. That doesn't, it just seems as though those things are not resonating.
The message of togetherness for all of us is a great message that we all need to get behind. And as many memes, protest posters, images and videos say, it's not just saying that Black Lives Matter. All lives do matter. But we just want to make sure that people don't forget that our lives matter, because in the media it just seems like we're the ones who's constantly shown getting unjust treatment. So whether other races are feeling the same way and are saying, Latinos, whites, Puerto Ricans, whatever, whatever race could say, like, we're getting just as much violent treatment as you guys are. From what I'm seeing, black people are the ones that are in the media the most. So if you guys are feeling that way, I think you need to call injustice to your race and everything too, to make it known. Like, all around, we all need to be respected, and we all need to be looked after and protected, not harassed and hurt.
Black Lives Matter protests have been beneficial for me because, being black and being raised in America, having that mindset and so on and so forth, and knowing that, our movement is getting stronger, especially with these protests, with George Floyd, then Breonna Taylor, so on and so forth. So it's nice that we've been having a voice throughout the years, and we're doing the nonviolent protests, to the other people who are, looting, damaging small businesses for their own personal gain, not even looking towards, what the bigger picture is in terms of fighting for, you know, African American or black, whichever, Black Lives Matter, making sure we're fighting for a bigger picture and making sure that future generations of black uh, individuals, have a brighter future and we successfully get a big change in terms of police brutality.
I'm encouraged by the protest, Black Lives Matter, because Black lives do matter. And it's been 400 years of trying to get that point across. So I'm happy to see. It makes me angry, though, because there are people that are trying to divert the narrative, because the narrative is about the way that blacks have been treated. And you have people coming in that are looting, some of them white people. White people have been caught in the act of spray painting and looting and trying to incite. And they're trying to take the narrative away. Just like when your president tried to say that Colin Kaepernick kneeling was about disrespecting the flag, and it had nothing to do with it. It was about the police brutality and the killing of our men. So I'm happy to see the support for Black Lives Matter. I'm happy to see that other races are finally coming alongside of us, because that's what it's going to take. And I'm hopeful and prayerful that this is the first step, and that the protests aren't the end. It just has to be the beginning.
It makes me so happy to see that, okay, we as a black community, we came together and was like, hey, this needs to stop, because it seems like no one else is going to protect us but us. So I'm glad that black mothers mostly banded together to do this, and then everyone else started following suit. You can't do this to our community. And honestly, it makes me proud.